everybody. Welcome to our another video cast. Today we are hosting our alumnus Dario Bijelić, who spent already 5 years in the online renting business. I think we are going to have a wonderful time, learn about the industry, learn about the current market situation, maybe get some idea about how things are going to go after the COVID. So very much looking forward to this conversation. Dario, thank you for coming today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. And I'm very glad that I will be able to introduce myself and what I do and talk about industry and maybe possibilities in future. So thank you again.
Thank you, Dario. It's always wonderful to have you with us. This is not the first time. This is the first time on Zoom, but we're always happy to have you back at the college, back in the classroom. Always happy to spend time with you and with our students. On that note, let me introduce to you and to our audience the two junior students who will conduct this interview today are Una Pavicevic from Montenegro. Una.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. And I'm glad to be here as well.
Una is wonderful. She's really doing a great job in this class. So it's wonderful to have Una with us today, and our legendary Ante Cvitkovic from Mostar.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure having this interview today, conducting.
Ante is a living legend of the college. He became one, I think, on the first day when he arrived. Everybody knows Ante. And I'm so happy to introduce him to the wider audience. So without further ado, I would pass on the mic to Ante. So Ante, please take it away.
So a question for our guest. I noticed that during your final year of college, you worked as a bartender, and immediately after finishing, you went to start working in Phobs and an online revenue consultant. Now, I, as many other students, have similar questions because after finishing college, you only had bartender experience. In short, what did you do in the last year that allowed you to go from a bartender to work in a data management company, and how did your career develop?
Thank you. That's actually a great question because every student that comes to the end of his studies at the college comes to the point where he needs to figure out what he want to do in the future. So for me, first I will say something about my background. I was raised in a hospitality family. My family work. My mother and my father work their entire life in a hotel. So I was always. It was easiest for me to be close to something related to hospitality, and it's also because of where I live. So during my studies, I was always working in F&B and in different. I had some insights from my family about it, and I had this service attitude. So at the point where actually before my first experience, which was Phobs, during my studies in RIT, I found a co-op. It was, I believe, in 2012, 2011, before my second time in United States. I worked as a sales representative for Philip Morris. And that was the first time I got to have some experience in working sales, and I figured out that sales is something that interested me, that I'm interested in. So and I learned a lot because I was lucky enough to work with one very I would say smart and clever guy and successful guy. He's also our alumni, Mr. Daniel Krmek, and he taught me a lot of about how to do sales, how to improve results in selling products and stuff like that. And that's where I figured out that I want to do it. And later on, I went to study abroad, to work abroad, and I still worked in F&B because this was the easiest way to get international experience. But I don't want to go too far with answering your question. When I started working in Phobs, it was when I got back from working abroad, and I figured out that my studies will soon end, and I need to find something where I will start. So my friend Sara Matic, who is also our alumni, she worked in Phobs. She did her co-op in Phobs. So she said, "Look, Dario, if you are interested in sales and you can come and get some experience in Phobs support." So she was doing on a career education day on RIT back in 2000. It was 13, I guess. No, 14. I did interview with her because she was the one who came from Phobs to interview students from RIT, and I was interviewed, and I did. At the end of the interview, she told me, "Look, we are not employing right now, but if you are aiming on this company, on this industry, you can work for some time here, your co-op, until you are done with your studies, and you can get some experience, and later on, if you are good enough, you can get employed." So my last 3 months on RIT, I did a co-op in Phobs, which was completely, I was flexible. I was coming there, looking what they do, trying to help somehow, and that's how I got this experience. And later on, when I graduated and when I was done with RIT, the guys from Phobs, the Phobs board, told me, "Look, you are employed. We are very satisfied with your attitude, and that you spent 3 months with us, helping us," and I got employed. So that's how it started. Actually, I started working in Phobs, and then later on, I spent 3 years and 6 months there, and then continued my career further.
So we have spoken a lot about revenue, and we have already been familiar with the term consultant. But can you give us an insight? Can you tell us what an online revenue consultant does?
Online revenue consultant would be a person who would actually, this is something related to online sales and technologies. It's something that I don't want to say that it was created in SIS, but it's mostly used nowadays in SIS, because if you sell technology, you cannot you need to communicate with your customer all the benefits that this technology brings to you. And since I was working in companies that develop and sell technologies, tools for revenue maximization and to generate more revenue, if whoever works and sells this product and helps the customer implement in his business this technology, and gives and advises his customer on how to use this technology, how to achieve more revenue, how to improve sales, how it's basically a consultant job. It's basically you are consulting someone, at the same time you are providing him with your technology. It's not only about technology, it's about know-how, technology and know-how. So that's where the online revenue consultant comes from. It's a more advanced title for someone who sells technology and teaches you and advises you on how to use this technology in order to reach more revenue, to maximize revenue and reach your goals.
So by stating that, can you please explain your current job at your current company? Could you give us an insight about, we heard what the practical side, can you give us an insight, your hands-on experience?
Yes, today I'm a business development manager for Rentlio, who is the leading software for vacation rentals in Croatia, and we are also expanding and moving on to hotel industry. We are aiming to become a leading software also for boutique and independent hotels. So basically, my job is related to finding new acquisitions, improving our sales processes, about helping and expanding our sales activities, acquiring new partnerships which will bring benefits for our customers, and everything to relate. I mean, the term itself says a lot: business development, and business development means expanding your business in expanding it overall. So yeah, if you understand what I mean. With new acquisitions, new partnerships, with improving processes, business processes, and improving helping our current customers achieve more revenue, because if they achieve more revenue, it means more revenue for us. So there are a lot of ways actually, and a lot of activities that come under this title of business development manager, and this is not something that this position is not something that has a strict job description. You know, it's basically most of the day we are brainstorming on what to do next, how to move forward, how to get the new customers, new types of customers, what kind of integrations with other systems we need to get in order to reach more customers, to satisfy their needs. So it's basically it's not job description that is defined. A lot of things can come into this.
Thank you.
And we know that different hotels and private renters sell rooms in many different ways through different channels. So could you please explain the concept of data warehousing and how Phobs developed into what they are today?
That's actually very, very interesting story. Phobs was the first company in this region one of the first and the most successful of those who were the first. I think they, before they started doing what they do, this company that today is called Phobs was called differently, I think, Connix or something. They were selling this advertising screens in a buses. I don't know if you remember, like 10 or 15 years ago, when you would drive in a bus through the town and you would have this screen with advertisements so they were selling this, and but they were always aware of technology and how what's happening in the market. So it was the first deal which opened the doors for Phobs in what they do today. Was I think they actually did some they made for some hotel they did the online check-in option for some of their groups. So when they did this, they actually developed a calendar with availability and with pricing and everything. And right after they finished this job, this deal, and the hotel was really satisfied with what they did, they figured out, okay, now we have a technology which is based for online check-in for any hotel. So what they did, they upgraded and developed this functionality they did for this hotel in an advanced booking engine. So the individuals could come to hotel website and book directly any available room, and they did it. And then hotels, they I think sold this instant booking engine to first hotel. I don't remember which was now, but it doesn't matter. And when this hotel put this booking engine on their website, other hotels, I mean, website is public, and the hotels are they look at each other, they look at their prices. There is a significant competitiveness between them, especially those in the same type, same segment. And suddenly this hotel that used the booking engine, the surrounding hotels started calling and like, we want the same. And then they had like a pool of 20 hotels using their booking engine. And the next idea was, okay, we have booking engine, we have a calendar, we have prices, we have availability. Why wouldn't we manage, besides website, manage booking.com, Expedia, and different channels, online sales channels. And basically when they made the first integration, I think it was booking.com, who was the leader in OTA industry and who first developed API, so the different systems could make a connection to them and manage the pricing. They suddenly came up with a revenue management tool, because if you manage your sales from one spot on a direct distribution, when there is no any fee related to generated reservation, and if you manage different OTAs that bring a lot of demand and bring a lot of customers, now you have a tool which can help you to attract this demand that's coming through OTAs through your website. And this directly affects revenue, because more revenue you have directly, less percentage fees you pay to your partners, to OTAs, and it affects directly your monthly and yearly revenue. So that's how this thing started. So yeah.
So since we learned that every reservation system is different, what could be the value proposition of one reservation system over another? Is there like a code or something else?
I mean, every reservation system is different. I mean, it can be different in some way, but there is a base which is mostly the same. I mean, whoever has a connection to Booking.com, it's the same, because the Booking.com has an API. API is an application processing interface. So it's the documentation which is used in order to make integration and communicate with the system, with different systems. So, and any other OTA has it. So basically, those are those things could be the same for each reservation system, or developed to some extent, but there are also, of course, differences but I would say that value proposition for Rentlio would be that it's very user friendly, it's very intuitive. More than 90% of our customers sign up for our system and set up by themselves, and it's actually a revenue generating tool for vacation rentals, small hotels, and it's not only related to revenue generating. It's also related to effectiveness in everyday work. For example, it's our system is covers two aspects of two business segments for hotels. A reservational segment where you manage your sales and generate more reservation, and then there is this operational segment where when the guest comes, you want your check-in to be more effective. You want to have advanced invoicing tool, so you can make an invoice for your guest for their accommodation and any other supplements and whatever they consumed during their stay. So it's not only about generating more revenue, it's about making your business more effective, making it easier for you. So imagine a hotel that has 200 rooms and works with and every day there are like 100 come-ins and more, or several hundred come-ins, and then you need every guest needs to get checked in, and every guest gives you an ID and password, and you need someone who will enter everything in computer. So our technology helps you. For example, we have this visitor scan where the guest comes on the reception. You automatically check him in by clicking on the reservation check-in, and then you take his passport and use your phone and scan his ID or passport, and this guest is automatically checked in, and this saves you I would say 15 to 20 minutes per guest. So imagine it's a huge amount of time if you count for 200 guests or with more business. So it's very, very useful tool for not only revenue generating, but also time consuming and business process optimization tool, I would say.
Thank you.
So now we have spoke about the value proposition of one reservation system over the other. I would like to add social media, that is linking reservation systems to social media. Is it a smart thing? Yes, it creates convenience for the end consumer, but can you expect unintended reservations coming in?
You mentioned integration of reservation system with social media.
Yes.
Social media is not really accepted by travelers for actual making a reservation. It's most of the reservation systems, including Rentlio, has, for example, Facebook booking engine, but there is no significant traffic. There is no significant amount of conversion related to social media. Social media is it's very useful in our industry, in our business, but not for conversion. It's for marketing, for strengthening a brand, for making more, for expanding the reach and visitors for official website. And it's not really, it's very useful, social media, and most of the hotels use it in order to send some, visitor traffic to official website, but it's not really ever used for generating more revenue or more traffic, or it's not really. It's about users' experience, and it's not that travelers use. I mean, go from yourself. When would you go to Facebook and book? Maybe, but.
I mean, it's not really common, but considering that you're talking about convenience, do you think that that segment will make it, or will we be still using the same engines?
No, I believe that it's. I believe that traffic is moving towards direct bookings, because today hotels and vacation rentals, the technology is so advanced that it's very easy to make your website today, and not only to make it, but to make it visible and acquire traffic and conversions from and direct bookings. So I think it will. OTAs will always be strong. They have, Booking.com, Airbnb, Expedia. They somehow became synonyms for travel. So 90% of vacation rental users, vacation rental guests, travel through Booking.com, Expedia, or Airbnb. It's just a fact for today, because these guys were the best, and they became the 3 top vacation rental agencies. And but technology is advancing from day to day, and there are many different tools and ways and procedures in order to generate some traffic with direct bookings, and it's increasing every year. Now, if you go to Google Maps and if you drag across your street, you will get at least 2 or 3 spots where you can book directly, where you can go to website and choose available accommodation type, choose the supplements and extras, and put your credit card and make instant reservation with secure payment and everything. So it's very, very more used than it was years ago.
So until now, we focused primarily on OTAs, but what is happening with the traditional travel agents? Are they slowly becoming obsolete?
Tour operators and this kind of this way of traveling is declining from year to year, and I would say OTA is still the golden age of OTAs. and I believe that in 5 years the direct bookings and technology for direct bookings would have their prime time, you know. I believe it's still prime time for OTAs, but it's moving, you know. It's through the years the main spot where all the travelers are moving from tour operator age to OTA age, which is now, and moving toward direct bookings age, which will be in which is still it's starting, and it's increasing from year to year, but it's not still the main the biggest segment, but it will be, and that's what I think and what I believe will happen in the future in this industry.
Thank you.
So while doing some research, I came across one information. According to some of the statistics, that only 2% of guests make reservations through hotel pages. So do you think that they're really necessary, the hotel pages?
I definitely believe that they are necessary. I believe that I mean 2% is not it's not that's the average, I think, today. That's the average, that if you just make your website and do minimal activities with exposing this website around, you could easily get 1 or 2% of traffic to your website. And this is good enough, because with 1 or 2% of your revenue on yearly basis, you can cover all the expenses for developing a website, and you have, and with just I had clients that made I will give you exact case study from my experience. I advised a friend from Zaptat who has 10 apartments to develop a website and to make instant booking possible. And he was really reluctant about this. He was really he didn't want to decide. And I said, look, just 2 reservations and you covered all of your expenses. And we did it. We made a website. This website, I mean, you have websites today from 300 euros to up to 100,000 euros. But in order to be exposed, and in order to you just need to present yourself and make sales focused, conversion focused website for your hotel. And we did it for him. I think his website was about 300 euros, and when we set it up and we set the instant booking, and in the first month he got direct reservation for one apartment where the one night was 150 euro. So it was 7 days. So it's about let's calculate. So we have exact so 150 euro times 7 days. So it was the reservation worth 1,050 euros. And he actually said, because if this reservation was made on Booking.com or Expedia, they would need to pay to them the fee of about 20%. It goes up to 20%. So basically, they saved 210 euros just for this one reservation, and the whole cost of website was 300 euros. So one more reservation like this, he's in plus with his website, and it's very important because I mean today's traveler. In January, I traveled with my friends to Mexico. I spent 13 days in Mexico, and we planned everything together, and we booked everything through our mobile phones, and we booked even our airplane tickets through mobile phones. So basically, and during these 13 days in Mexico, we had 3 different accommodations in 3 different towns, and actually 4 accommodations. And of all of 4 accommodations, we booked 2 directly through website. Why? Because the website was the best available offer online. Because this guy who is a host of this accommodation, he made a website. He presented himself very good, and he made instant booking possible, which is very important because I wouldn't have a patience to exchange 7 emails with him in order to book my accommodation. But since I found his website and found that his rate is actually best available, I booked through his website. And how I came to his website, I found his accommodation on booking.com first. But me and my friends, we were together, and we were very curious about where this accommodation is, how far is from the beach and how far is from the supermarket. So we went to Google Maps, we looked for this location, and we saw, look, this guy has a website. Oh, let's check it out. And we entered the website. Look, this price is actually 50 euros less than the one on the booking.com. So it's called the billboard effect. I think it's when the guest comes to one spot, sees the product, but he still does not choose to buy, and then with the different circumstances and his interest in different things, he comes to the official website, and conversion is done there. So that's the actually importance of official website. It's where you will never, with your official website, you will never be competitive to booking.com. You will never have 100% direct bookings. I mean, there are different, I call them inconvenient accommodation, like the tree houses, for example. You have really something that's really extraordinary and inconvenient, and you have a resort that's made of tree houses, and this kind of resort has a from marketing perspective, the potential is huge, and it's the website for this kind of accommodation. It's very more attractive, and I mean the brand and the type is very more attractive and more unique than the classic hotel room accommodation type. So you have different hosts like this that offer this kind of accommodation that use only OTA for a marketing exposure. They keep their OTAs closed. The sale on this OTAs is closed, and it serves only for guests to see their profile and to check them up directly and book on their official website. And these guys have 50 to 60, 70% of reservations on a yearly basis generated directly through the website. And I believe with technologies, with marketing advancements, and this will slowly go up, and in 5 to 10, 15 years, I don't know, I cannot predict exactly, but we will have OTAs would be in a high decline as the tour operators are now.
Dario, this is extremely interesting to me. And if I'm reading you well, this is also about the brand recognition. This is also about product differentiation. This is also about uniqueness,
Absolutely,
authenticity. So maybe the nature of the internet is creating a climate in which those who want to thrive, they must produce something unique, something excellent, something
Yes,
recognizable.
exactly.
And,
yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. In last few years, you have a huge rise of these inconvenient types of glamping resorts. Correct. What a great idea! Glamour glamping. It's a very, I mean, it's basically a tent with nice looking stuff around, nice beds, but it's I mean, the cost of this tent is, I don't know, maybe 2,000, 3,000 euros. Maybe it's if it's really high top, you know, and there is no toilets, there is no, and the people pay 250, 300 euros a night to spend in this tent in some forest, in some island. And you know how clever this is, you know. It's just about being different, being unique. It's just
and
you have yeah.
But when you mentioned your Mexico experience, what about the universal rate parity? We heard that many booking engines, many hotels actually opt for universal rate parity. So can you explain that concept and its status currently?
Universal rate parity was once official rule for travel industry. So basically, wherever you would put online your pricing, it should be the same. For example, if you and this was official for a few years, and it was considered to be official. And then after a few years, they cut off this official rate parity rule, but it still remained because of the competitiveness between the OTAs. For example, if I'm a hotel and my room costs 150 euros a night, that price, and I put 150 on Expedia, but I put 130 on Booking.com, they have tools and services which check the pricing, because every price is publicly available data. It's they have services, so they can check is their pricing at the same level than the pricing of other OTAs. So it's not that this rule is still official, but Expedia would come to you and say, look, your pricing is much less on Booking.com than at our site. We don't want to work with you.
Right. But am I allowed then to have a better price on my own website and just flat rate, universal rate on the booking engines?
You are allowed to have better price wherever you want right now, because this is not official anymore. It's not that officially you need to have the same price. You can put but
will they complain that I'm offering better prices on my
not really. Before, when it was officially, they would complain, but today they would not complain about your website. You can put your price less price, you know, on your website, because they are not worried about your website, and you know, it's they only worry about competitiveness between other OTAs. So
okay, so they're busy with each other.
They cannot force you to have the same price on your website as you have on their OTA, but they can. But usually, what they do if they check and see that pricing is lower on the different OTA, they would say, "Look, you cannot do this. I mean, you are making our direct competitor more competitive with the pricing, and we don't want to work with you." So basically, the hotels are not afraid about website, but they are, it's
making sure the booking engines have the same rates, basically.
Yeah. I mean, rate parity is something that became a norm in the hotel industry, and if you and your standard price, your basic price, I mean, it's your pricing. It's you can compare this to any other industries. If you are producing and selling shoes, why would your shoe be in one store 100 euros and in another 150?
Right.
I mean, you would want to, negotiate with all the resellers about the percentages and for the guest, because
because
price.
You have to control your brand ultimately, correct? You have to control your brand ultimately, because you're confusing the buyer in the end.
And it's about meeting demand. I mean, the price that dictates the equilibrium between supply and demand is actually the price that guest pays.
Yes.
And if you want to have complete control over this price and over complete control about the sweet spot between supply and demand, you want to think about the price that guest pays, and and you want this price to be same everywhere.
Correct.
To be same everywhere, and then you will have tools and ways to attract more direct bookings and expel this percentage fee.
Right.
But the real the price that guest pays is the most significant one regarding this demand and supply equilibrium, and finding a perfect match with the price for competitiveness on the market, because many of the vacation rental owners, less hotels, but mostly vacation rental owners, come to me. Look, I want to earn 80 euros, and I will raise to each OTA the price for their percentage, but you can advance more, and you can think about, okay, I want to earn 80 euros, but percentage on Expedia is 20%. The price should be then 100 euros, and the percentage for Booking.com is 15%. Price should be 95 euros then at Booking.com, but then Booking.com would be more competitive than Expedia, and I want them at the same level regarding competitiveness. So I will actually develop the difference between net and gross 20% for all OTAs. So if I want to earn 80 euros, I will put gross price 100 euros for each of the ODAs. So I will always earn 80 euros plus,
right?
Because the biggest fee is 20%. So if the reservation comes from Expedia, I'm earning 80 euros. If the reservation comes from Booking.com, I'm actually earning 85 euros.
Right.
And if the reservation comes from Airbnb, I'm also earning 85 euros. So it's not about me. It's about, and now I have leveled pricing. I have price parity on all of these, and I can when demand is low, I will put this on 90, and I will still earn 77 euros.
Right.
And when the demand is high, I will put this price on 115, and I will earn 90 plus.
Right.
So it's not about Me, it's about supply and demand and the sweet spot with the price, and getting to this sweet spot is with the price parity.
Okay, so I think you explained to us very well what do online revenue consultants do, because you gave us a crash course in how you advise your clients, right?
Yes, and I would add only one more, because I don't want talking about OTAs and percentages. I don't want to put website like less important. And then when I leveled all my prices, and I still can put my pricing on a website 90 euros if everywhere is 100. But still, if I put 100 euros on my website, I can offer my direct guest who comes through the website free transfer from airport, from the port. I can give him a free breakfast, welcome drink. I can give him a bottle of wine. I can do anything except lowering the price to make this offering, direct offering, more valuable to a customer than the one on Booking.com is.
Okay, so that makes sense. Actually, I think Ante will remember. Ante and I discussed this universal rate parity when we did our lodging operation simulation. So I think that clarifies the picture for us. So thank you. I will turn over the mic back to Ante. Ante, sorry for the interjection. I was just too tempted. So I think that Ante has some questions about privacy, correct, Ante?
Yes, no worries about crashing. It's always welcome. So until now, we focus primarily on the business itself, but can we turn our attentions to the customer? So I'm the customer, and here's the hotel. You're everything in between. My goal is to share my data, as you mentioned, with the hotel. They know who I am. What happens with my data at your company? Am I in a risk of data privacy, or what exactly do you do with it?
Actually, I think that I'm not. I will be honest. I'm not really into this, but I have a few insights that can answer your question. Everything changed since this GDPR. Since GDPR came in 2 or 3 years ago. So basically, the systems that operate today needs to have some security regulations implemented in order that they can legally operate. So so most of the today not everyone can see. We as a database, I would say we have a database of guests, but it cannot be contained for a long time, and should be erased after some time, and especially if the guest demands it. So it's actually just that set of regulations became more strict and became more specific about this data, and it's a very, and we need to encrypt the database and towards different users. I mean, hotels you have like certificates. For example, for online payment, you have this PCI DSS. If I wanna have booking engine with the possibility of charging credit cards, I need to, in order to have secure payment, when my domain would say secure.rentlio or .phobs or whatever, I need to get this certification, and in order to get this certification to have my domain as secure, I need to implement a set of regulations where I will implement the credit card and guest information info processing in order so it will be held only, for example, 30 days after the departure, and then should be erased completely. And so
there is a limit. There is a specific limit to which you need.
Yes,
which
there
you
are.
need to
I mean,
follow.
yes, I mean GDPR brought a set of regulations that needs to be implemented in the system in order to have everything to guarantee guest privacy. And for example, earlier I mentioned this a visitor scan. For example, 5 or 10 years ago, you would come to a hotel and you would check in, they would give you a key, and you would give them your ID or passport, and you would go to their room, and then in the morning when you go to a breakfast, you would come and pick up your ID, or it will wait for you on the reception. But this is not the case anymore. I mean, it's a very, very privacy GDPR related. It's really not the it's not secure for a guest to leave their IDs or passports on. So that's why these technologies developed, like the scan, because this scanner, it's not a photography. It's not that you use your phone or a scan in order to take a photo of an ID or a passport. It's actually, this technology scans it actually works the same as the scan on the airports or the scan on the borders. It scans the code in the back of your document. This code contains all the information: your name, the date of birth, your country, and your gender, and whatever needs to be there for you to be reported to a government as a guest, that stays there. So this scan takes all of this data, and it automatically it doesn't keep this data in. It just take this data and transfer it to the officials, to the visitor or reservation in the system. And so this privacy issue is resolved with this technology. No more. If it was the case back 10 years ago, it was all the guests would leave the passport or ID on the reception. But today, if you would ask your guest to leave the passport or ID, most probably they would not be willing to do this, because with GDPR, the guests became more cautious about this.
Thank you.
And now comes the question about the situation that unfortunately affected the whole world, and especially the hospitality industry. So how do you feel about the future of private accommodation in the post-COVID world?
It's I mean, as I believe the same thing is happening in any industry. This pandemic situation is some kind of catharsis, or how to call it. It's some kind of a filter where the strongest ones will survive, and then those ones that are not so competitive, where at the bottom will need to go somewhere different to survive. I would explain it on the basis of market in Dubrovnik, for example. Before the pandemic, you had I would call it a long-term rental crisis in Dubrovnik, because whoever wanted to study in Dubrovnik or whoever worked in Dubrovnik, it was really impossible to find the accommodation to stay, because everyone was renting to tourists. Everyone was doing short-term rentals. People were making apartments out of their garages and so on and so on. And but these guys were I would say on the bottom of the market hierarchy in Dubrovnik. So they had, but what happened now, the demand significantly decreased. So what happened, these guys are out of the game and they need to go back and offer their short-term garages as a long-term rentals, to demand for a long-term rentals. And then the guys that were in the middle segment, that had that were selling their accommodation for 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 euros per night, are now at the bottom, and they strive and they compete between each other, but they still survive in a short-term rental. And these guys that were at the top, that had high class or high category accommodation, they just need to lower their prices a little bit, and they will still get full, because it's all about pricing. It's if you have a really high category, high service, and high pricing when the demand is that low, if the crisis or not, but whenever the demand is very low, you will just lower your price and you will still be full. In the middle segment, you will lower your price, you will still get full, but not for the price you are used to. And these guys that were on the bottom, they cannot lower price, because if the price is less than 40 euros a night, I mean, it's not anymore profitable. So I mean, you need to clean this apartment, you need to wash the laundry, you need someone to make a check-in, to do operative stuff. You need, it's very time consuming and resource consuming. So these guys that cannot lower price anymore, they will say, okay, this is not anymore for me. I will not have short-term guests anymore. I will rent my apartment to a student from RIT or Blagajnica Konzum or whoever, and I will work less, I will earn less, and but I just needed to change my focus on a different market segment, and there is still so basically the answer to your question is that this crisis is served as a catharsis, and it shifted a little bit. It shifted the conditions a little bit, but I work every day with hotels, with vacation rentals, with owners, and I see that no one stopped. No one said, "Oh, we are done." No, they all plan. They all are looking forward to the end of crisis. The ones at the bottom concluded that it's short-term rentals are not for them. They will shift to long-term rentals, and those in the middle and in the top just lower their prices. So they just lower their prices, so they are still surviving. And for example, just one more thing. For example, I figured out that just with communicating with people abroad and in Croatia, there is this trend of digital nomads now, people who work remotely, who travel and work. And I am the one now. I work from my home, and I work basically, except my home, I can work from anywhere. So basically, this creates a whole different segment for rentals, because now you have people that that work remotely and earn enough so they can travel and work whenever they want. So basically, now you have a whole different segment in this industry, because you can offer working and living space for digital nomads. And actually, there are various, not so in Dubrovnik, maybe there are some in Croatia, but mostly abroad, there are some very successful businesses that offer this kind of service right now.
Thank you. I definitely have a clearer picture now. And also, as Dubrovnik student, I can definitely relate to the examples that you gave from Dubrovnik. So we heard that you are an avid reader. So what books do you think we should read in order to better understand the world around us?
You heard that I'm a reader. Good question. Good question. I actually just started reading one book. It could be interesting for you. I mean, I am a reader, but I mostly read some literature that's not related to a topic that we talk today, as I learn about the industry and technology through everyday activities, through listening presentations, and to scanning on what's going on market. And I don't read much of books related to the business, even though I should. I don't want to be bad example. But for example, I will show you one book that I just started, and it sounds a little bit interesting to me, so it might be for you. And the title is very the title is very nice, and it's very it tells you a lot on what attitude to have today. I will show it quickly. The book is called How Non-Conformists Change the World. So title was kind of interesting for me, and I'm really looking forward to what will be there. But it's actually my motto. Maybe that's why I choose this one: How Non-Conformists Move the World. Because if you are aiming and if you are focused to be in a comfort zone, you will not be anywhere near changing the world. So you need to, strive to be fighting all the time, and in order to reach your goals, and in order to make significant changes in your environment. And these environments, I don't mean only on professional environments. I mean starting with your own room, your family, and then your professional environment, and industry in which you work, and in the end, the world. It's just about how far you will reach with this. But I will give you more details when I read the book. I'm still in the beginning, so.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So now let's go back a little to the beginning. So did you ever regret choosing hospitality as an industry? I mean, the industry itself suffered a lot of shock. I mean, .com crash, 2008, 2009, now this. Did you ever find that it's better to stay out of it? And what can you recommend to us as students who are almost on the verge of leaving the college?
I would say that I've never had I was never in the situation where I would choose. Okay, maybe I was back in high school and or before high school, but my mindset at that time was not that I didn't if I would at that time, if I would choose something, I would choose to play. But later on, when I came to the point, I was just driven forward, and I was never in the point where I will choose, okay, I want to work in hospitality, or I just as I said in the beginning, my family is all hospitality employees, and service is some kind exceptional service, and hospitality attitude is something I was born and raised with. So I knew that whatever I would be doing, I would give the part of this that I have in myself for the industry I work in. And I moved. I'm not working directly in hospitality. I would say I work in technology industry now, but it's technology related to hospitality. So I moved next door, and I use my hospitality attitude and my hospitality, I can say attitude, in order to give exceptional service in SIS industry and technology sales. SIS, actually, if you don't, if you are not aware what SIS is, it's a term that covers. It means software as a service. So it's not in SIS. It's service is really tied to technology. It's technology cannot be. You can make the best technology in the world, put it online, put it available, but if there is no one who will introduce you to it and who will help you use it and who will advise you to use it better, you will not reach your goal. It's still really human related. But it's artificial intelligence is more and more advanced from day to day. So who knows? In the future, maybe this will be more not so human dependent so far, but sales of a software today is really a service that changes a lot, because with the service you make with good technology and good service, this is what makes difference today.
Dario,
yes.
Dario, when did you leave college? I think 2014, 15?
I left for 14. I came back from States, and then I left college in 2015.
15, correct. So I think
yes.
Around that time, we had a visiting student from the States. I think she was a sophomore student, young and brilliant mind. Victoria Farrell is her name. She said to me then, I believe that hospitality is the business of the future, because in the experience economy, in whatever we do, there is an element of hospitality. And I thought that was such a profound statement. So I think that even if we work in technology, business, or education, or selling cars, or you name it.
Exactly. I feel that every day. It's about giving a part of yourself.
Communication, empathy, feeling the other, service mentality. understanding,
Yeah.
creating experiences, being authentic, people
Yeah.
skills, all those things. So
When
I think
when I started doing sales for technology, I would be calling the list of my potential users, and I would reach them on a telephone, and I would be spending next 3 minutes or 5 minutes explaining who we are, what we sell, and the call would always end like, okay, thank you very much. I don't have time for this right now. But today I shifted completely opposite. Today I call and ask them how they are doing and with their business, and what are actually their needs and wants, and what are their problems. And then if I hear the problem that can be solved with my technology, I will offer. But
otherwise
I
you try to connect and to learn. Exactly.
Yes. It's actually today I 80% I listen and 20% I speak, and it was
Right.
oppositely different
Right.
before. And the second one is because it's much better way, because by listening you actually are gaining connection and attention, and
Exactly.
and at the end you will exactly know, you will be able to profile your target customer, and to know his problems, his needs, his wants, and you would be able to offer your services and offer your help. And it's a great start of and great foundation for a future cooperation, and it makes this bond very strong. So
I think so. And I think what's really fantastic about hospitality is that even in the brave new world of the whatever high tech is in front of us and the great reset and everything, I think that hospitality will always remain the business of the people working for the people. So I think that's really great. So maybe it has a potential to teach us something and also to save us from, I don't know, from the machine dystopia.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'd like to thank everybody for this wonderful interview. Dario, what a wealth of knowledge. I think it will take some time to process everything what you said, because it's all said in the context of the specific industry. So thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. Always wonderful to have you.
Thank you very much. I'm very glad that I'm able today to share my knowledge and to talk with you, to hang out with you. Feel free to contact me anytime. Feel free to have a coffee with me, or I like to always to talk and share my experiences and hear your thoughts. And you guys, your students are all fresh, and I know I was there, so I know how ambitious you are, and how full of ideas you are, and that's a great wealth as well, because it's the knowledge, as you said, it's a wealth, but also this energy, this freshness, and ideas that gather in your head while thinking about where to start after finishing college, in what industry to work, and it's also a kind of a wealth. So
Right.
use it very smartly.
We will certainly try. I want to thank our Una. Una, thank you for joining us today and looking so sharp and preparing the questions.
Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, and definitely so much new information to think about. And thank you, Professor, for having us.
I'm more than happy.
Una and Dante and Professor, thank you very much as well from my side. It was a pleasure.
Right. And let's thank Ante. Ante.
Of course, save the best for last. Thank you very much, all three of you. I mean, I really got a much clearer insight to what seems like a cloud of bits. Now all comes to make sense. So a big thank from this side.
I think we will be hearing from Ante and Duna long after they left the college, just like from you, Dario. So
I believe so as well. I see that they prepared very well, and I see the huge potential, and it's really nice.
Okay, it's nice to stay connected. It's nice to stay on the team. All right, so thank you, everybody. I'll stop recording now.